Hello, Mark Crossfield here. Welcome to the Golf Swing Weekly Fix. We're going to do it slightly different. Look, I'm going to try and do 2 posts for the Weekly Fix each week. A few comments from people saying that the videos are getting quite long, which I agree with. Some of them are getting up to 20 minutes. Because just trying to give you all as much help as possible. So we're going to do 2 segments. Today we're going to talk about one fault, go a bit more into depth about what the 2 people are doing. And also we'll do question of the week. Later in the week, what we're going to do is we'll do more swings, more quick drills, try and get through more of the swings that are coming through the app, as well as golf talk as well. So 2 Golf Swing Weekly Fixes each week, slightly smaller, hopefully 10 minutes around there, so you guys can watch them back again. You're not having to troll through 20 minutes to try and find the relevant piece of information for your golf. So, loads to get done, 2 shows to film. Trackman on. Let's get stuck in. So you can see from these 2 guys' grips, setup position, stroke grips, that if they're both trying to achieve the same kind of impact position, same kind of ideas, then it's not going to work. Reference to how they're holding the club in relationship to the face, in relationship to the shaft lean, how the club is set up at address, even in relationship to their body positions, which is so different. So something that's so missed with the grip. So this isn't going to talk about so much about knuckles and where the club should sit through the palm. So I've done loads of videos on that, and there's loads on YouTube to go and watch. There's plenty of information about that. But I just want to explain to you how, depending on how you set up, that information won't work for you unless you are somewhere near a neutral position, which again, there are loads of videos on neutral positions with different clubs as well. So what we see from player 1 is we see more hands in the middle of the 2 legs. So looks like he's seeing almost 2 knuckles. Definitely doesn't look like it's in the right place of his palm, but like I say, you can research into that. So what happens if he starts with his hands more in the middle? Let's pretend I make a swing from there and try and turn into a decent impact position where I'm pushing forwards and through. The face feels like it's just going to open. So why would you do that? And what we see from him is more of the kind of flippy chicken wing steering impacts, where what we see from the other player who has his hands much further forward, also sees 2 knuckles, but this time it's much more of a stronger grip, more turned in the left hand because his hands are forwards, and then as he starts the swings they push forwards more as he hinges it back with his wrist. Now for him to hit a straight shot, it's going to be much more kind of crickety, pushing forwards, almost leaning back if you're not careful. Otherwise, again, if I just turn into a good impact position from there, the toe end of the club starts turning around, it starts closing. So when you're doing your golf grip, for both of you, it's got to be in relationship to your setup. It's got to be in relationship to some of your starting positions. So for instance, if I was to start, let's take it to extremes, club face is square, so at right angles to the line I want to hit the ball along, so I'm hitting it into this corner. If I put the grip back here, well, 2 knuckles from there is about there. Now if I move into impact position, I mean, I'm barely seeing anything. Or if I move my hands back even to where they should start, more opposite the inside of my left leg, I see no knuckles. So what is that grip? Is it reference your address position, or is it more reference a neutral address position? Obviously it's reference more of a neutral address position. If I push my hands forward, now get the 2 knuckles. Let's say you want 2 knuckles on your left hand. That's now much more twisted over grip. So again, if I return to my impact position, what happens is the toe end of the club is turned over. So it shows you how the grip needs to relate. So lots of the information out there, and I've done videos out there, relate to the grip relates from your eye line down to the handle, but the grip also then needs to relate from the handle down to the head in relationship to the shaft lean, in relationship to where the face points. You've got to hit these checkpoints that you're hearing: 2 knuckles, base of the palm, right hand through the fingers, all those kind of things. You've got to hit these positions and look at your 2 knuckle checkpoints well in a decent setup position. So again, if I set up in a pretty good grip here, simply open my shoulders up, well, I can see all 4 knuckles. Close my shoulders down, I can't see any knuckles. So do I twist my hands more? See where I'm going? The lines to hit anywhere near a straight shot, the reference lines I'm drawing in relationship to the face to the shaft lean subject to the clubs. This is a 7 iron, so I know the shaft's going to lean slightly forward of the head. I'm going to always try and get my hands opposite the inside of my left leg at address. So I'm using that leading edge of the club parallel to the, or right angle to the line I want to hit the ball. I've got that shaft lean in there built in as well, so I'm using the loft and the club correctly. Then I'm setting my grip to those angles and hands opposite the inside of my left leg. I'm hoping my left eye's on the back of the ball. You see what I mean? There's loads of checkpoints. If I get these set, now that gives me more of a right to try and hit the ball somewhere down towards the target. Push that one, unfortunately, but I gave myself every right to try and swing straight through that ball because I was set up in that more neutral position. You've got to start referencing your grips much more to your face. That's a better one. You've got to reference your grips much more to your setup positions, and you've got to start to try and understand and play with it at home. Get some lines in the kitchen floor, those kind of things. Close the face. Take a neutral grip, what you think, research some of the lessons on what neutral grips are. Then put the club down by the ball, or imaginary ball, and twist your hands to see how to get the face back to neutral, how you have to move your hands. Then obviously how this is going to affect your impact position subject to those lines you're seeing. For both of you, you've got swing issues. There's faults that could be fixed. But if you're not understanding and respecting the use of the face in relationship to the shaft, in relationship to the grip, then fixing those issues is always going to be hard and sometimes pointless, because some of those issues are there because they have to be there because of the grip positions you've put yourselves in. Hope that helps. A little bit more of an in-depth idea about how you should be setting grip. Doesn't give you the answers. There's plenty of, I've done loads of videos on grip that hopefully will give you the answers. What it does do though is it gives you more of an idea of how these people are creating the correct angles and answers from the good information on grip that's already out there. Reference to the many points, face, shaft lean. So if I put the ball off my left foot with a driver, it has less shaft lean forward, tends to come more straight out of the driver, where the irons it tends to bend a bit more forwards. You've got to start learning these little feeling, these little tricks. They're very subtle, and then you'll be able to get your angles right. I mean, TrackMan, which we're using here, uses numbers like, we haven't got the right screen on here, but club path and face the path, and we're talking 2 degrees, 1 degree, 4 degrees, they're making a difference. You guys in your setups with your grips are many degrees out in relationship to your face, which then means you have to put those issues that we see in the swing in to try and have any chance of hitting a straight shot. Hope that helps. Thanks for posting. Post comments down below. I'd love to hear what you got to say. So Chris is asking, do you think you can explain the difference in having a draw bias driver against an adjustable driver? Thanks. Well, they're kind of the same thing, because you can get drivers where you can adjust the weights to make them biased one way. Basically, the difference is if you put a different weight in the club head in a different place, if you put a heavier weight at a different end of the club, so towards the toe, the outside, towards the heel, or in the middle, back or front, it can affect how the club moves through impact and how you move the club through impact if it's weighted that way. So if you get a heavier weight in the heel, it'll tend to slow the heel up into impact in theory, speeding the toe up, which allows the club to rotate more around that weight. It's simply about moving the weight, the centre of gravity of that club, which allows it to rotate more or less. So where there are other changes where you can just crank the driver open or closed, or other companies, Titleist for instance, who change the lie to try and point the loft of the club more left and right. But adjustable opposed to biased weighted clubs, where you put that heavier weight will tend to slow that end of the club up. So if you put it in the middle, then it's neither of it's going to be slowed up, heel or toe. They'll go equal distance because it's the middle, it's balanced in the middle. If you put it in the heel, slow the heel up, speed the toe up. Vice versa, you put it in the toe, slow the toe up, speed the heel up in theory, and that will cause a different shot. Hope that helps. If you are looking at biasing your clubs in those ways, you know what my answer is. Definitely think about going to speak to someone who could help you with it to make sure you're doing it correctly, and make sure you're not doing something obvious that you could fix rather than spend some money on some shiny new thing. Thanks for watching. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.